On this discussion segment is all about countdown to EDO 2024, and now we are having reasons to really worry a little bit. Some are saying, no, well, we have to worry a lot. I say, no, calm down. No matter what, there's always a solution to any form or any kind of problem, be it political or otherwise. Yesterday on the news, you saw the #1 man of Edo State really complaining bitterly for what is really happening. He said for an arrest to be made, he should be informed, he should be in the know that this is like a witch hunt. For what he also opined might just be not, excluded from what is going to happen probably next week. Yes, it's going to happen on the 1st of September, the Edo State gubernatorial election, to the extent that a local government chairman was picked, was taken to Abuja. Well, we want to take a look at this and how this is going to affect the election. With me here in the studio, a legal practitioner, a notary public, a two-time executive member of the Nigerian Bar Association, Edo State chapter or Benin chapter. On one hand, he serves as a legal advisor. On the other hand, he serves as politically secretary of that great union. As a political analyst, join me to welcome Barrister, yes, Ebosele. Welcome to TMI. Appreciate your coming.
Good morning, Wilson.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
You went up the radar, and now you are back. Okay. All right. Joining us via Zoom, he is a vibrant political analyst, public affairs commentator, a lecturer in the University of Benin. Join me to welcome Dr. Andrew Omosefe. Doc, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Okay, let me start from you, Barrister Ebosele. I believe you've been monitoring the trend.
Yeah.
You've seen, you've heard, to the extent that the peace accord was rattled because of what is happening. The APC was accused of being behind the arrest of some PDP members, and that is what is making the round in town. And the election is barely a week. Yeah. What do you have to say about this?
You know, there's an adage that says, when the owl shouts in the night, and the next day a little child dies, you say something must have happened in the midnight to cause the death of that little child. So there's no way the police can actually give that complete confidence to members of the PDP. Because first of all, like you said, the election is just barely a week away. And now the principal parties, principal actors in that election are being ordered by the police. They are being arrested. Like you also pointed out, the governor, as the chief security officer of the state, ought to have been informed even before a local government or anybody high officer of the state is being taken out by the police. It's very, very important because it's like a man being the head of a household and you are coming to arrest one of his children and the man is not aware. That is not right. The governor, being the chief executive officer of the state, ought to be informed, Let me not say that the police, they seem to be taking the governor for granted. Because as at the time, I would divert a little bit, as at the time Wike was the governor of Rivers State, you dare not do that. The police will not come into Rivers State at the eve of an election, less than a week, and you start arresting people without Wike being in the know of it. So, but the governor is just being a gentleman, So it's actually not right, because no matter what, they ought not to be arresting members of the opposition at the 11th hour. That is exactly what they are doing.
At the 11th hour?
At the 11th hour, that is exactly what they are doing, which is wrong. So my advice in this kind of situation is
hold on. To get to a point where you need to advise. Yeah. Right now, we're just starting. Yeah. I'll come back to you, Barrister. Yeah. Now, let's go straight down to Dr. Andrew Omosefe. I believe he heard of what Barrister Ebosele opined. He said, look, this is the 11th hour. The owl cried at night, and of course, the child died in the morning. They all has a point in how they are. Moreover, making arrests at the 11th hour when the election is just barely a week away. Take it up from there, Dr. Andrew.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to correct an impression, that has been created by the lawyer we trained in the studio. You see, I am not a lawyer, but I know that the law is no respecter of any man. And I know that whether, no matter how high you are or how high ranking you are in the society, if you commit a crime, the law will come after you. And so it doesn't, as far as you do not have immunity, and even when you have immunity, there's an extent to which you commit a crime and you will be forced, that immunity will be waived out of you so that you can face the crime that you have committed. So you cannot hide under, being under the protection of the governor to commit a crime and expect that, the law will go and take excuse from one person before taking its course. It is not done. So I do not want that narrative, to be pushed out there for people to believe that that is the position. You cannot commit a crime, no matter how highly placed you are, and expect that the law will not take its course because you're under the protection of the governor. It is not done. Now, the wave of election violence that has been orchestrated by actors within the PDP is no news to Edo, it's no news to Nigerians. You will recall, I think we have discussed this issue over and over again, how election violence started in this election with the shooting at Airport Road that took the life of a police officer. The same police officer you want to go and take the government took the life of a police officer, and members of the now disbanded or suspended vigilante network were fingered as people who carried out the shooting, even in the very presence of the SY Commissioner of Police, who even had to leave the scene through the entry gate of the airport. From there on, you could see the continuous maiming, the continuous attack on the APC and its candidate, especially in Edo Central, where, even up to the day before yesterday, you saw, I'm sure you're on the internet, on the social media space, you see people in the pool of their own blood, where people will take machetes, cutlasses, guns, and everything, and attack people who are conducting themselves peacefully. So at this point, I do not think that the police is patronizing any political party. Because if the police do not come in to arrest the situation as it is, and then the opposition parties, not just APC, there's Labour and the others, now also begin to do the same thing, will the election still hold? I am a political scientist myself, and I will tell you, this is an outcome of a research that I carried out not too long ago, that, as one of the factors responsible for voter apathy in this country, in Nigeria, is election violence, where people become afraid of going to vote on election day because they believe that they will be attacked.
Okay.
And the wave of election violence have become so bad to the extent that it affects the outcome of the election.
I will come
The
back to
last
you.
one, the last presidential election,
I will come back to
you
you.
saw the
I will
figures.
come back to you. Just hold on, I'll come back to you, Dr. Andrew. Well, you've heard him. He said nobody is above the law, no matter how highly placed you are. Don't forget that these also affected serving local government chairman. And of course, some of members of the PDP said all these things started with the shooting at the airport when Okpewolo came into town and all that.
I agree with him. I agree with him that there's nobody that is above the law. There's nobody that's above the law. But you have to follow due process. It's very, very important. You cannot be saying he has said something that when the APC man, he was shot at the airport and all that. And he concluded as if the police, up till now, the police has failed to tell us the result of the investigation of that incident. Like he said, the Commissioner of Police was there. So the Commissioner of Police is an active member, you understand, to what actually happened. By now, one would have expected that by now...
They said the XY Commissioner of Police said the man walked out before that thing started.
It's, even if you now say they have changed the Commissioner of Police, of course he will do his handover. And in that handover, he will explain what must have transpired at the airport during that fracas, you understand? So up till now, the police has been unable to tell us the outcome of that investigation, for us to even know whether that problem was caused by the PDP or even orchestrated by the APC themselves in order to win sympathy. You understand? Because what is happening, the rumor all over in town is that APC, because they are ruling at the federal, that they want to make use of the federal might. Even before the arrest, it has been the public domain that they are going to pick up some members of the opposition. And that's exactly what happened. So how do you want the people to feel? You understand? Now, because you are there at the head, you are the one in charge of the police. Then you now direct them, go and do this, go and do that, thereby giving undue advantage to your party. I think it's not fair on the opposition. You understand? What we are saying, nobody is saying that, the police must ignore their responsibility. But what we are saying is that you are coming into a state. The person you are coming to pick is a local government chairman. We are not saying it's above the law, but at least the governor ought to know what is happening in his state. The governor is not going to stop the arrest, but you ought to have at least informed me that this is what you are doing. You don't just go into a state and you start picking people. What if they were resisted? If there was resistance? How many of those policemen that came in probably from Abuja to make that arrest, if the people had come out, if the governor was that kind of person that does not obey the rule of law, if he now gets the hint that somebody is being arrested, he could as well say, okay, mobilize people to say, yes, you cannot arrest the person. And it happened before when the former governor of Osun State, Ondo State, when he was about to be arrested, he called on Wike. If you remember that incident, Wike came and made sure that he was not arrested. You understand? So Governor Obaseki's attitude, his conduct over respecting the rule of law is being taken for granted, which is not fair to him as the chief executive officer of the state. You understand? So the police ought to have informed him, as a matter of course, to inform me that, yes, we have come to pick up the local government chairman. Even though we know that there's nobody above the law, you still follow the due process. You will still end up picking him up. Because, of course, the governor has the capacity. Even the local government chairman that is being picked up, he has the capacity. If he now incites the people, that arrest will not be possible. We know what happened to Yaya Bello, when Yaya Bello wanted to be picked up by EFCC. We knew how the people came around, and before you knew it, even the present governor of Kogi State was even figured in that process. You understand? And he made that arrest. EFCC were unable to arrest Yaya Bello. Up till now, they have not been able to arrest Yaya Bello. You understand? So what we are saying is that this is an election that is coming on, less than a week to an election, and we are picking members of the opposition. How do you want the people to feel? How do you want the people to read that kind of message? Even the voters, they'll be scared. The story out there is that APC, they are going to use the federal might to suppress PDP.
All right.
You understand?
Okay,
That's the way people are looking at it.
Okay, now let's get back to Dr. Andrew. Dr. Andrew, you heard him. He said, you are for the police force to boycott, so to speak, the governor. After all, he's the #1 man of the state. As the chief security officer, he wasn't informed, he wasn't told. They just came in commando style, picked up a serving local government chairman, picked up some other persons in Edo State without the knowledge or without the approval, without even informing the governor. Don't you think this is sending a wrong message that the rumors making the round before now that are going to use federal might to oppress other political parties? Is that not what is playing out right now?
Well, I don't know what you mean by federal might, actually. I'm trying to process in my head, you know, how, you know, somebody will expect that the Nigerian police force, in carrying out their duties, will go and ask the governor for permission. I mean, I don't see how. In fact, the armed robber on the streets who breaks into somebody's house and take away their belongings, you know, when they are arrested and taken to court, the governor is not informed. When the man who steals Maggie, you know, in the marketplace is arrested and taken to court, he is not taken to the governor. The governor, you don't call the governor and take permission. You know, let me tell you, crime is crime. No matter how big the crime is, no matter how small the crime is crime. And the actors in the criminal process, you know, it's still not different. A criminal is a criminal, whether you are a local government chairman or you are a commissioner or you are a serving councillor or whatever. A criminal is a criminal. And once a criminal is being prosecuted, you do not need the express permission of the governor before a prosecution is carried out. And in any case, let me also ask you, Mr. Wilson, is the governor, or was the governor not in the state?
Doc, you keep saying they are criminals, but until proven guilty, they are not criminals. You understand? If you want to go by the rule of law, you keep saying criminal. Until proven guilty, would you say that they are criminals?
They are presuming innocent.
Please get it clear. I have not referred to anybody as a criminal. Have you ever mentioned any name that this person is a criminal?
All right.
I have not. I'm only trying to buttress the point that crime is crime and a criminal is a criminal, no matter the nomenclature of the offense or no matter the nomenclature of the crime. You know, so no matter the nomenclature of the crime, crime is crime. So what I am saying here is that the governor was, in fact, in this same state when members of his parties continued to attack the APC unabated, continued to unleash mayhem on the APC unabated. Did you ever hear the governor come out one day to condemn it? Did you hear the governor condemn the shooting at the airport? Did you hear the governor condemn the maiming of the APC members in Ile, in Ekpoma, in Ebele and other places? Have you ever heard the governor come out to, on his own, even issue a statement asking all parties to cease these attacks on political parties? So the truth is, the police are just doing their job. And if it is any member of the APC that attacks any other political party, that person should be arrested. You don't need to take permission from anybody. You don't need to take permission from anybody. If any member of the APC attacks a member of the PDP or Labour, the person should be arrested and prosecuted. If any member of Labour Party, you know, attacks anybody, you know, in the process of this campaign and throughout the electioneering period,
thank you. I will come back to you. I will definitely come back to you. Well, don't forget that we're talking about balance of power, talking about law and order. It's like they're focusing on just one political party. How come others have not been picked? That is a question on one hand. Now, Barrister, you heard him. He said when attacks were being carried out on APC members, on Labour Party members, the number one man of the state, the chief security officer of the state, didn't come out to condemn such attack. So from what he opined also, electoral violence, if this is not done, you may see everybody trying to counter reprisal attack, and that might impede the election occasioned by voters' apathy.
Well, I'm not aware that the governor, I'm not aware that the governor didn't come out to condemn whatever is happening. I want to correct an impression. He said a criminal is a criminal. He's just assuming, concluding that it's already passing judgment on them, which is not right. Because by our constitution, even when you are arrested, you are presumed innocent until a court of law now pronounce you guilty, then you will be declared a criminal or even somebody that has been convicted, because it not be called a convict. You understand? So it's wrong for you to say merely picking up of somebody makes the person a criminal. That is wrong. You understand? Nobody is supporting election violence, and I'm sure the governor will also not support election violence as the #1 security officer of the state. So I'm not aware whether the governor did not come out to condemn that aspect or not. But he should also know, Nigerians should also know, that the police are not doing their job as it's supposed to be. Because all this election violence here and there, up till now, the police have not come out to make any arrest. The police have not come out to charge anybody to court, to say, yes, this is the person, we caught this suspect, he was the one that committed that offense.
But hold on,
then let's take him to court.
Hold on.
I
Barrister, hold on.
I'm
Have you seen a viral video where a man was apprehended? He was with a weapon, and he confessed to the fact that a local government chairman was the one that gave him that gun.
Well,
don't you think this is connected?
Well.
After that confession that XYZ local government chairman gave him that gun, and before you know it, a local government chairman was picked.
Well, what I know as a lawyer, even when an alleged suspect is caught red-handed, you still need to go through the process of the law. He still needs to be charged to court. The court still needs to make a pronouncement on that, because this is politics, and we know what some politicians are capable of doing. It could be an RNG. It could be an RNG.
On whose part?
On the part of the political parties. It could even be that. Because if you want the opposition to look bad, or you want the other party to look bad, at times you can plan a setup, and to look as if they are the one that sent them to go and do that. You understand? Meanwhile, it's a plan from the political party that wants the public to sympathize with them. So that is why you still need the court. It's not just enough for somebody to say, yes, this person was the person that sent me. People make confession statements. Even when they are arrested by the police, they confess. But when it gets to court, you will see that confession, at times, they will tell you that they were threatening to make that confession.
Under duress.
Yes, under duress. So nobody knows. That is why you still need to undergo the court. It still needs to be taken to court. So the local government chairman still needs to be taken to court. Then the person that says he gave him the gun, he told him to go and carry out whatever operation, still needs to prove that. You understand? Before you now finally conclude that it's actually the local government chairman that sent him. Because this is politics, and we know the underground on it. So if we say we don't know, it means we are deceiving ourselves.
All right. Doc Andrew, you heard him. Arrests being made, but no one has been charged to court. Election barely a week away. And remember, no APC member has been picked. I mean, don't you think this is like a crystal clear signal that this is truly a witch hunt, so to speak, using of federal might to destabilize the PDP so that the APC or the party can come at tops?
Okay, let me put it this way. It becomes very disturbing when you hear people who ought to know better, try to justify an action using different skills, I quite understand that the lawyer over there is trying to defend the party. But let it also be clear that we are talking of election, we are talking of human lives, we are talking of how to ensure the integrity and sanctity of the electoral process. And if that is so, it means that we all must be ready at our different levels, individual levels, at our different collective levels, to protect the sanctity of the ballot box. And to that extent, if anybody, tries to commit an offense, tries to, destroy the election process, we all must be ready to condemn it. Even the man in the studio there, I've not heard him condemn election with this violence, the brazen violence that is ongoing. Now, you asked me a question that no APC person has been arrested. That is because the APC on their own have been going around conducting themselves peacefully. Same with Labour Party. I've not heard where APC, members attacked the opposition party. I've not heard where Labour Party members attacked the opposition party. What we have been hearing are the PDP leaders, PDP members threatening fire and brimstone It was in this state that the banners of Olumide Akpata were destroyed, and Olumide Akpata himself fingered the governor as being the person that, you know, asked his his members to go and destroy his banners. We all saw that. We saw that. You saw it. It was in this state that you heard the director of media for the PDP, Olu Martins, making inciting comments, asking his members to beat up the APC members wherever they are seen. I'm sure you saw that video. It is in this same state that even up to the chairman, somebody who's supposed to be apolitical, the chairman of the NLC, you know, came out to say that Edo State will burn if PDP is not declared the winner of the elections. Even the governor himself also said Nigeria will burn at a point. Let me tell you, the statements we make, comments we make, have a way of sinking into the heads of our members. We as leaders, political leaders, must learn to make comments that, you know, we
All right, Doc, you keep talking about the governor making some statements. That statement was advisory, and some of the comments you made that later these people are making, it might just be in the realms of allegation, but for the governor's comment is an advice. All right? And moreover, you saying that Reverend Olu Martins mentioned APC directly. I saw that video. You are not correct. I saw that video, so please, let's be guided.
Yes.
Join us right now in the studio, a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Elvis Brown. Elvis, how you doing this morning?
I'm okay, I'm fine.
All right. I believe you've been watching, of course, listening.
Definitely.
All right. So, let me come to you before I go to Barrister Abel Selena. What do you feel about all this? Don't forget that yesterday, if the news is anything to go by, there's been a disbandment, so to speak, of our security network. Nobody knows the reason or about to give us the reason why when disbanded. And of course, the arrest of some PDP members. Don't you think that these actions are like politically motivated?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. We understand what is playing out. You know, I hope I'm free to actually mention the name of political parties because, you know, it is obvious what is happening. The APC is flexing their federal might against the state. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to arrest people from Edo State and move them down to Abuja without the state government knowing about it. So you're just trying to let the man know that, look, we are operating at the federal level while you're operating at the state level. So the outcome of that will be more intimidations, you know, more flexing of political might between the state and the federal. And don't forget that they have carried out this act. You should expect the governor, who is always 10 steps ahead of them, to also have his own plan. So we're going to see more of this kind of acts playing out between now and the election.
More of this kind of art playing out between now and the election. Okay, I'll come back to you, bro. Well, Barrister, you heard him. He said, yes, he agreed to some points you raised about this being political motivated, and of course, flexing of muscles, the federal versus the states. As it stands right now, those citizens are apprehensive. But from the police angle, they are saying this is an ongoing investigation. We just call these guys up for interrogation. That's what they are saying. I mean, don't you think it would be wise for us to cut them some slacks? After all, you saw one confession, I said it before, it was the local government chairman that gave me this gun. He said that. Now, following that up, I mean, don't you think is the right thing to do?
Well,
to prevent you know, guns brandishing during the election, to prevent electoral violence, at least to serve as deterrent to any other political party, including the APC, that might want to intimidate voters.
Yeah, like I've told you, the police are not being sincere. They are not being honest with themselves. With due respect to them, because you said there's a confessional statement from somebody saying that yes, the chairman was the one that gave me a gun. Chairman was the one that sent me to do this. So what is stopping the police from charging them to court? You know, what is also stopping the police? When APC, when some of their members attacked a lawyer in the bar house, in the ABA Benin bar house, what has happened to that case? I'm aware as a lawyer, I'm aware.
Now you're
that
not
the
alleging
FBA
that APC attacked someone. That's an allegation
That's
right
what I'm
now.
telling
You're a
you now.
legal practitioner.
I said allege. I used the word allegation.
Alleged, okay.
Now, when they attacked a lawyer that was wearing a PDP cap in the NBA bar house, I don't want to mention his name now, you understand, for security reasons. Up till now, nobody has been arrested. A petition was written to the police by the NBA. You understand? Nothing has happened. So why do you think people will have confidence in the police? So many incidents have happened. Even the fracas that they are talking about that happened at the airport. Up till now, is it not time for them to have charged people to court? Is it not time for the police to have told Edo people, this is what actually happened at the airport, these are the culprits, these are the suspects, this is what we are doing about it? So the issue is that the elections, today is 12, just about
9 or 8 days.
9 or 8 days, you understand? And you are making arrest. And you feel that the people will not be apprehensive. People are already scared already. If they continue to make more arrests, on that election day, people will not come out. Because you are tactically now supporting the notion or the story that is going around that you want to use federal might. You understand? That is what is happening.
All right. Doc Andrew, I believe you are still there. Right now, he alleged that a legal practitioner was attacked by a member of the APC. No arrest was made. Don't forget also that the APC have been fingered for making inflammatory comments against other political parties. No arrests have been made. There are also cases reported, allegedly right now, against the APC for orchestrating violence on some other party or supporters of, the PDP. No arrests was made. I think that this arrest is one-sided, for crying out loud.
Well, for crying out loud, Mr. Wilson, all of these things you have said now are not that APC members attack PDP members. This is the first time I'm hearing it. You are the first person that is saying it. Because in all of this campaign season, we have not seen, none is in the media space, not even in the ITV camera lens that is everywhere in the state, picked it. I mean, that remains within the figment of the imagination of the person that told you that. However, if the lawyer was attacked in the bar house, the NBA, by now, the same NBA that we know, would have been on the streets telling the whole world that a lawyer was attacked in the bar house by the APC. By the APC. Because I am not aware that APC has attacked anybody in all this campaign. And I want to quickly react to the statement made by the man you just introduced, Mr. Brown, that the disbandment of vigilante network, was politically motivated. It was politically motivated because the vigilante network that is supposed to be apolitical, that was supposed to be set up to protect every member, every citizen of Edo, has now become a militia wing of the PDP, whereby they now go around brandishing guns, attacking members of the opposition, especially what happened at the airport, where people who did the shooting that day, of course, you heard the people who were there, who said that these guys were putting on vigilante uniform. And then even the SY Commissioner of Police was informed, okay, look at these people. They're even putting on vigilante uniform. Go and talk to them so that they can live there. Instead of the man to go and talk to them, he left the scene through the entry gate of the airport. And you expect the police authorities, the IGP, to allow that to happen? See, anything that will give undue advantage to any political party, anything that will become a source of violence in this election, like I said before, should be cut off. Whether it is, whether it's coming from Labour, whether it's coming from the PDP, it doesn't matter. As long as they are not conducting themselves peacefully, as long as they have become violent, they have become source of violence, they have become sources of maiming and killing of innocent citizens. They should be arrested, no matter what they are coming from.
All right.
And the truth is this, I do not see the APC as part of this whole thing. This is entirely a security matter.
Thank you.
It is a security matter.
Thank
And
you.
security matters
I will come
are not
back to
supposed
you.
to be, you know, something that
I will
you go
come
and start
back to
taking
you,
excuse
Doc.
from one
I will
person
come back to
before
you.
you can.
All right, you heard him. He said, you be APC, you be PDP, you be Labour, no matter party that you belong to. If you are doing anything that will give you undue advantage, it should be checked. All right, that's what he said. And he talked about some vigilante, okay, some group of persons that don't vigilante attire brandishing weapons. After all, what are your opinions? So he said, this is highly security matter. So the police, they are correct in doing what they did. And they said he didn't hear about the attack on an NBA member. He said this is the first time he's hearing it.
It was all over the news.
Anyway,
it was all over the news.
Let's get to hear
all
from
over
Brown.
the news.
I'll come back to you, Barrister. I mean, Brown has the floor right now, so go ahead. From his own comment, he said this is strictly security matter. Whoever asks says, God, nobody should start crying foul. Investigations going on, those guilty or presumed guilty until they are proven innocent, they should just remain where they are.
Yeah, well, the truth is, you now have to look at the technicality of the actions. Beyond the rhetorics, Barrister just mentioned instances of violence coming from, you know, other political parties, not just the PDP. Now, if you are holding someone more than 24 hours and you say you are investigating, what happened to charging him to court? It means you didn't have any kind of information at all. You were just, somebody was accused and you picked him up. Now, after picking him up, you begin your investigation. That's not how it's done. This is political. If it is not political, you get your facts, you bring this guy in, and then you take him to court. Let the court decide. Okay, are you going to hold him, then release him after election and say you found nothing against him? We've seen these things before. Now, it seems we are going back to the era of the Obasanjo's administration, where politics and politicking is done like this. Sadly, you know, President Jonathan has brought us out of that kind of politics. But the 9 years of APC seem to have introduced us back to the politics of violence, intimidation, and all sorts of things that you shouldn't be having in our politics at this time.
But that's why the police stepped in to curb violence,
No,
because the election is barely a week away.
We've always known that the police are answerable to their paymasters. With all due respect to them. Most times, you don't get justice. They're being used here. Somebody is saying, do this for me. Pick this guy up.
But don't forget that a policeman is dead already. Are you saying they shouldn't investigate? Because I'm asking questions from all angles right now, both from the one that said they're guilty or innocent.
No, okay, so you have to pick the PDP guys up to investigate them. Is that what you're saying? You already said you have statements from people. You have testimonies from people. So if you pick this guy up, he should go to court.
Why not take them to court? That's
take
what
them
I'm saying.
to court?
Yes, why not take them to court?
The position.
That incident has happened over a month or 2 months now.
It's not,
you understand?
Not yesterday.
Up till now, what are you investigating? You told the world, like he said, like Doc said, that the Commissioner of Police was there. Though his last statement now was indicting the Commissioner of Police.
No, the ex-Commissioner of Police said he walked away.
Yeah, they walked away and all that. That's an indictment on him. Up till now, nobody has been charged to court. Doc is freaking ignorance of the attack in the bar house that was all over the media. It was everywhere. It went viral. How the members of the APC youths, they were passing through the bar house and they saw a lawyer wearing a PDP cap and they rushed to the bar house.
But how do you know they're members of the APC?
Somebody like one of the youth leaders of APC.
All right.
Doc knows what I'm talking about.
All right.
In the person of Mr. Tony.
I don't want us to mention them for reasons.
Thank you. It was there.
Thank you.
He was telling there. He was even telling one of the
Lagos studio.
He was even shouting, telling one of the members that this is the lawyer's house. This is the lawyer's house.
Thank you.
Live there.
Thank you, Barrister.
Thank you, Barrister.
Up till now, thank you so much, Brown. Thank you, Barrister. Thank you, Brown. Well, Doc, thank you so much. There should have been a last line, but we just can't wait for a last line. But the thing is simple. Whatever that will be done to make the election free, fair, credible, and peaceful, let it be done. But witch hunting, arresting, intimidating, think about it now. Is it going to help for us? Free, fair, credible election? Is the governor in the know that this arrest will be made? Was he informed? Okay, if he's not informed security matters, why not take these persons to court? That is a cry of the people in the studio. Take them to court. Let the court decide. So the people will not be like PDPs, or APC is arresting PDP, or PDP is arresting APC, or Labour is arresting everybody, or NPP is fighting everybody. No, we don't want that in this election. It's barely a week away. So please, everything should be done decently and in order. Barrister, thank you so much. Brown, you came a tad bit late, but all the same, thank you for sharing your opinion. Doc, I know you're there listening. Thank you so much for your wonderful opinion. But don't forget that the opinions you heard them make here is their opinion. It has nothing to do with ITV.